Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see you here. And it looks like YouTube lags a little bit from when we go live, so I'm happy to see you. And congratulations on making it here.
Good morning, everyone.
That is so funny.
I'm so glad to see you here.
All right. Let me turn
And
this
it looks
sound
like
off.
YouTube lags a little bit.
So I hope you can still hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can. Happy to be here. So
It looks like lags a little bit. Let me know if you can. Happy to be here.
Just
So, it looks like a little bit. Let me know if you can. Happy to be here.
okay. So what I'm seeing is like 10 seconds behind what I'm actually doing. So that's why I'm asking if you can hear me. If you're watching now, feel free to chat with me here. And the only part I can see right now is this part. So let me know if there's a problem with sound, if you wouldn't mind. Thanks. So what we're talking about today is truth and boundaries. But before we go into that, what I'd really like to do is to just take a moment to center yourself. Allow yourself to be here now. So take a nice deep breath and feel yourself in your chair. Feel the seat supporting you wherever you're sitting. Feel your feet on the floor if they're on the floor. And just allow yourself to notice the rising and falling of your chest or stomach as you breathe in. Nice deep breaths. Perfect. Another deep breath. Allow yourself to be here now. We're doing the live version of this because I want you to be immediate and confident about what's happening here. And so I can see any comments that you have in the chat on YouTube. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, go to YouTube and you'll see it. So I'm Dr. Tanya English. I'm also known as the Soul Chiropractor because in chiropractic, what we do is remove interference to the nervous system so that your body knows how to heal because it does know how to heal. It's a self-healing mechanism. It's amazing. And I say mechanism, but we're really not machines, are we? We have much more to us than that. We're divine expressions of love. And so if we look at ourselves like that, as a divine expression of love, we can be more compassionate with ourselves, more loving with ourselves. So what's happening right now is that, well, there should be something live on the YouTube page. So YouTube Dr. Tanya English should be there. Refresh. Anyway, whoops. What I'd like to do is have you take that deep breath and allow yourself to be here now. I'm just getting messages in that people can't find this. So that's why I'm referring back to stuff that's coming in. And as we're gathering here right now and people are coming in, it's important for you to allow yourself to take on or at least listen with a beginner's mind. We always have so much stuff that comes with our listening. Past relationships, past understandings, past experiences, but they're not happening now. And that's what we want to get to. We want to get to what's happening right now. So I want you to see that you have the ability and the power to allow yourself to be in present time and to not be running off of past experience all the time. So a lot of times people will say that they've had this experience or that experience, and that's why they don't do something, or that's why they do something. But that's not the best use of your time, I don't think. In my humble opinion, it's better to show up with beginner's mind, not really allowing all that past to change what you're hearing or to form opinions too early. Today, we're going to talk about truth and boundaries. And the fact is that there are many types of truth. There are many truths that we encounter during our lives. But I want to tell you this story because I use it with my clients and I want you to think about it. So there's 4 blind people that are encountering an elephant, and one of them says, "Oh, this is a tree trunk." It's grabbing the elephant's leg. And another one says, "Oh no, this is a snake. It has the elephant's trunk." And the third one says, "No, this is a wall and it's standing next to the side of the elephant." And the fourth one says, "No, this is a rope and it's holding the elephant's tail." This illustrates to you that we all have aspects of the truth, but we don't have the whole truth because we can't see things from all perspectives at the same time. So if you can let yourself be comfortable with the unknown, if you can let yourself realize that there's many ways to look at a problem or a situation or something that's happening, a circumstance in your life or another person, there's many aspects of the truth. Are all of those things true? They're all true for each one of those blind people. So you have the ability to allow more than what your specific truth is. They're all true, but none of them can see the big picture. None of them can see. So what's happening in that? It's allowing yourself to really know that what you're seeing and what your experience is only an aspect of what's there. Wouldn't it be great if we could see the whole truth and nothing but the truth? But we can't see the whole truth. We can only know what our truth is, what we've seen. And eyewitness testimony is very unreliable. So generally, we can't really go off of what we see because we can't remember that well because we're doing so many things at once. But I was thinking about this last night and I wrote, what are your truths? Are you believing what you've been told? That's the truth. Are you believing what you hear on TV or on the internet? Those are truths too. Are you believing what you've experienced yourself? That's a truth. But we can only know these partial truths. We can never see the whole picture. We can only rely on experience from our perspective, which is unique. We can empathize with others, but even similar experiences are not the same. And words fall short. So we have to ask ourselves, what's the truth of what I saw? There's an exercise by Byron Katie that asks, are you 100% positive that that's what happened? And some people will say, oh, yes, I am absolutely positive that's what happened. But if it was 40, 50 years ago, maybe you can't be 100% positive. Maybe you can be 90% positive, but there's that 10%. So I want you to just allow yourself to dive a little deeper and allow more of source to come in and inform you about what's really going on. So can you see that? You might not have the whole picture. And that from another person's perspective, it might be a completely different story. That's the important part. Letting it be your perspective only and not saying this is the whole truth for everyone. So we can allow ourselves to have those experiences. I keep saying, allow yourself, allow yourself. That means that you don't have a rigid and stuck perspective. You could actually entertain other perspectives from people. That's called being stiff-necked. When you can't allow yourself to see other perspectives, you're only seeing this way. And that is how we have compassion for ourselves and others. We come up with compassion for that. We're talking about boundaries. If you're watching this live, I'd love for you to put into the chat here, into the comments, what are things that you feel when you're in a circumstance, let's say in a relationship or in some kind of circumstance where you feel like you're not being believed about what you know is your truth? How does that make you feel? What are some of the feeling words that you would use for that? Sometimes it's anger. That could be a feeling word that you use to describe that anger. What about frustrated? Not being believed. Right? That's frustrating. What else? Anger, frustration. What else? What else would you feel about not being believed for the truth that you have? Yeah, thank you. And irritated, yes, irritated. Made to feel wrong. Right. Absolutely. Made to feel wrong. Think about people who have been victimized and people don't believe that they've had this experience. It can feel like part of you is being torn away. Yeah. I would also say intimidated, because people can feel intimidated when they're not believed. So let's do a tapping round on this. And we're going to start with these negative feelings, but don't worry, we're going to get to the positive too. But one of the reasons why we do tap on the negative feelings is because we want to acknowledge those feelings. Now, I'm not saying they're bad feelings. We're not judging the feeling. That's why we're saying they're negative. They're negative and positive. They're not bad and good. You can feel good, you can feel bad, but we're going to say negative and positive because we want to acknowledge those feelings because we're human beings and we have a whole rainbow of feelings. We have all the feelings. And so we want to acknowledge all those feelings. So let's start with your eyebrows right here, right on your eyebrow, 2 fingers. You can do one side or both sides. All of this anger, and just repeat what I say. All of this irritation, all of this frustration. And I feel so intimidated. And I'm being made to feel wrong. I feel all these feelings when I'm not believed. It's incredulous that I'm not believed. I'm an honest person. And this is what's happened. So now I'm really angry. I don't have any ulterior motive. I'm speaking my truth. And not being believed makes me feel so frustrated, so angry, so irritated. And I'm just going to honor these feelings. I acknowledge my feelings. I own my feelings. I honor my feelings. And if some of those words didn't work for you, put your own words in. That's fine. Take a deep breath. How's that feel now? There's so many times when we have experiences, and when we go to tell someone about them, they don't believe us, especially in victim situations. People can't believe it. It's happened to many, many people. So I just want to remind you that this is absolutely your perfect way of being able to acknowledge your feelings. When you acknowledge, own, and honor your feelings, you can release them. Okay. Doesn't mean it's not happening anymore, but you can release it so that you are not hurting yourself. That's important. Let's talk about boundaries too. I was talking with a client the other day, and she said, if somebody else like that ever comes into my life again, I know how to get rid of them. And I said, but wait a minute. What if you don't have people like that come into your life anymore? What if we clear that up? That Swiss cheese that is our field of energy that's allowing all this junk in that we don't really want. We can allow it to close up so that doesn't happen again. I'll give you an example from my life. When I was a massage therapist, I was getting a lot of men coming in to see me to do something sexual. Now, I was a massage therapist. I was working in hotels and doctors' offices and spas. I was working doing house calls, very dangerous, right? Kind of to do house calls. So you have to know who you're going to. And the fact is that people kept doing this kind of sexual thing, and I'd have to tell them to leave or I'd leave. And I just thought, obviously this is happening to me because there's something in me that's allowing this. So let me deal with this issue. And I'm going to stop working on men for a while because I don't want this happening anymore. And I'm going to work on what it is that's happening in me that's creating this situation, because I, at that point, knew that I'm creating my own reality. So there's something going on with me and my energy that says this is okay. That's why they keep showing up. And it took me a while to really understand that, but I did. And I worked on that part of my field of energy, of my whole being that had this magnificent kind of wound in it, and allowed that to be healed. And then I could work with men again. It's important to remember that we're creating our own reality. So we have the ability to heal those things up. Did I have help with that? Absolutely, I had help. I had therapy. I had all kinds of different help to help me heal that wound and move forward in life without having to endure any more of that kind of behavior from people. So it hasn't happened in a very long time, because I dealt with what it was in me that was creating that. Now, a lot of people think it's just because people are bad. And you've heard this, all men are awful. And, in general, you can say all kinds of things that are in general true, but are they really true? And what's my boundary about that? So ask yourself, if these things keep happening to you, what is in me that's creating this? Because then you'll find that there's something there that needs to be healed. So when you cross a boundary, when you allow someone else to cross a boundary that you have, what are you standing for? We're going to wrap these two things together. So I want you to just remember, we're not ending with the negative on that, but what are you standing for? When we stand for nothing, will fall for anything. Do you know who said that? Alexander Hamilton is credited with that. Those who stand for nothing will fall for anything. What do you stand for? What do you allow into your life? Are you getting rid of people who don't measure up? Or are you just having people that measure up come in? This is where things change, where you're allowing stuff to happen, but you don't have to. And it's not about keeping those people away. It's about how they're not attracted to you anymore. You're attracting everything into your life with your energy. So this is why we do energy healing. Let's clear up some of those things. It's all about, what you believe is true. So these two things go together really well, boundaries and truth. What's okay with you? What's not okay with you? A client yesterday said, oh, I can make up red flags if I don't see them. I said, yeah, we can absolutely make up red flags, but we don't have to. So what's a time in your life and how have you felt about it? Some feeling words. Andrea is so helpful. Thank you. What's some feeling words about when you've allowed your boundaries to be crossed, or when you've crossed your own boundaries, or you haven't had any boundaries? Like, I feel like, yes, you had written judged too. We're going to make sure to get that one. Judged. Yeah. What's it feel like when you cross a boundary with yourself? I feel disappointed when I do that. Disappointed in myself. Regret. Yep, definitely regret. What else? What else do you feel when a boundary's crossed? What's that feel like to you? Shame, yeah. Embarrassed, yeah. Guilty, yes, guilty. Absolutely. Thank you, Andrea. So glad you're here. It's so amazing how we can call into our life exactly the right person. Thank you, Andrea, for being exactly the right person. I'm so grateful. So these feelings that we have when we cross boundaries of our own, or when we allow our boundaries to be crossed, these feelings are also there too. So, there's a thing about blaming the victim, because the victim already feels like this. The victim of boundary crossing or not seeing red flags and allowing this stuff to happen, it's already feeling victimized. And that's part of it too. Let's put that in there. Victimized. It's so important. We have all of these feelings, and yet what happens to us? We ignore them or we push them down into second chakra. We push them down in our lives, and then they come out in different ways. Either some kind of disease happening or a process happening that isn't conducive to health, or people come into our lives or circumstances happen. It's just creating a lot of drama is what is happening. So what if we dial that drama down? Let's tap on these feelings right here. So right here on the eyebrow, I'm so disappointed in myself, disappointed in the others involved. I feel so much regret, embarrassment, and shame. I feel shame about this. I feel guilty. I feel victimized. And I feel abandoned because here I am making these mistakes. So I'm a mistake maker too. I have all of these negative feelings, and I'm just going to honor them. I'm just going to honor them. Acknowledge, own, and honor my feelings. Yes. Take a deep breath. It's a lot when we think about how our truth isn't being spoken, we're not being believed, things are happening, and it's not really, it feels like out of control, it can feel overwhelmed. Just tap right here while I'm talking. It can feel just overwhelming. It can feel like there's nobody that can support you. So it can feel very lonely. Just allow yourself to understand. It's okay, because we're acknowledging those feelings now. I was listening to an interview with Tracy Morgan yesterday. It was actually Finding Your Roots. And he said, which I thought was so interesting because he's such a fun guy, and he's been through so much. And he said, I'm not afraid to cry. I have no fear of my feelings. So I'll cry. You'll watch me cry. And we did. He cried because he was learning all of this amazing stuff about his family. And I thought, man, that's exactly right. Don't be afraid of your feelings. Embrace your feelings, honor your feelings. That is a huge power that we have, and you'll get this power boost from it. So remember, when you're doing this tapping, you're bringing power back to yourself. Out of these experiences will come power back to you. You're retrieving it. So let's talk about that for a second and tap on that right here. All of these negative feelings, I'm able to acknowledge them. I'm able to retrieve power from where it was left behind with these feelings, where things happened and I couldn't make sense of it, where there was cognitive dissonance, being taught that life isn't fair, but you better play fair, but life isn't fair, but you ought to be fair. A lot of dissonance. And it's okay, because as I honor, acknowledge, and own my feelings, I can release those negative feelings. I can release them into unconditional love. And that's all around me. So I take back my power from these experiences. I take back my power from all of these negatives. And I say, yes, I can learn and move forward. I know how to do that. I know how to learn and move forward. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm learning and moving forward, and that I can have confidence in myself. I can have compassion for myself after being and feeling victimized. I can have so much self-compassion, remembering that I have a little child inside of me, and I love that child. And that child deserves love, is worthy of love, unconditional love. And I'm that adult too. So I have compassion for myself, love for myself, and I feel power returning to me so easily and effortlessly. Just tapping, pretty easy. And I'm so, so grateful. Take a deep breath. This way of acknowledging your feelings is almost magical. I'm feeling like a buzz right now. And if you've been tapping along with me, you probably feel that too. And if there's more underneath that we didn't get to today, if there's more feelings that you have, I'm going to invite you to actually keep tapping on this. Watch this again and again, and allow yourself to retap over and over, because repetition is not a bad thing in this. It's so much easier if you repeat this, because you'll see more things come up. And that's okay. You're cleaning out. I love the analogy of the bottle of dishwashing liquid. It's empty, but how much water do you have to move through that bottle to get all the soap out? It's not just one bottle full. It's bottle full after bottle full after bottle full after bottle full. You have to keep rinsing it and rinsing it and rinsing it to get all the soap out so you can use it for something else. You have to keep rinsing it. So think of that clean, clear water as the positive effects, and allowing yourself to do the work. And this is how simple the work is, by the way, pretty simple. Acknowledge your feelings, own your feelings, honor your feelings, tap on their feelings, and then allow yourself to move forward and say, yes, I can take my power back. I am an invincible being. I am a divine inspiration, and I allow divine inspiration into my life. Let's tap on that. Deep breath in. I allow divine inspiration into my life. I'm never without it. I can always tap into it, literally tap into it. And I am allowing more and more divine inspiration into my life. I'm so glad that you were able to join me today. If you watch this later, please do like and comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm happy to have you here. Your comments do not go unread. I read every single one, so I'm happy to help. We have a Facebook group that you can join called Healing with the Blues. It's grief tools for grief, and also allow yourself to like Quantum Healing International page on Facebook. Um, I'm going to be doing an energy scan training with my coach Daniel Hanneman, the blockbuster we call him, July 21st and 22nd. I'll put a link for that in the comments here. And please, if you have any idea that you might want to do something like that, let us know, because it's a wonderful experience to have an intuitive energy scan. It's being seen for the kaleidoscope of beauty that you are. And you can do it too with other people. It's a beautiful thing to be able to share with people. I had somebody say, I thought you were just going to tell me what chakras were blocked. I didn't think you were going to give me stories about myself that were so amazing. So those are all things that you can do too. And we can teach you how. It's so easy and it's so much fun to open that part of yourself, open your intuition to all the things that are there for you. So I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful month. Remember, your boundaries are good. You can make your boundaries be very solid, and you can also allow things into your life that you want into your life. Okay. That's how I help people. We get real clear on that when we're doing the healing one-on-one work. And I invite you to schedule a consultation with me so that we can see what next steps might be the best for you. Always with your the highest, best good in mind. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful month. I'll see you in August. Take care.